So in my experience leading the Lighthouse, our view of transformational leadership is that it's the hottest, most required talent right now within business. And there is a difference between transitioning a business, pivoting a business, reinventing a business, rather than simply change management or indeed digitalising a business. And I think for the creative fraternity, it really is about helping clients to be braver in how they communicate what they are doing and what it is they need consumers to believe in them too. So if a leader in the creative sector has great bravery, great vision, the ability and the want to also execute that work, which means allowing your teams to really understand where you're trying to move the business to and being able to bring them with you. As human beings, we don't really like change, but we do like to be in a herd, we do like to belong. So for us, it's really about finding a leader that can sort of communicate that sense of transformation and bring all the people with them. Our experience of the skills gap right now in the creative industries is actually about transformational leadership. We do a survey here at the Lighthouse every year called Shipping Forecast. And this year we asked a question about what are the skills particularly required for transformational leadership. And they were about having courage and vision, the ability to connect, authenticity. But when we asked the same question of what's missing most in our industry right now from leaders, the exact same 4 skills came up. So we know that that's where the issue really lies. I think there are 2 reasons for that. I think one is that within the networks, the big 6 networks, conformity is certainly at play, making sure you're always in profit, that you are running the business in a most efficient way. But what can come with that is then a sense of not feeling able to be in an environment where you can be a little bit more authentic in the way that you lead and a bit braver in the way that you may execute some of that work, and some of the clients may not be as brave as you need them to be too. So are you willing to stand up to those clients and say we need to move the business on? The second point we're finding is part of the issue really is again people's fear of failure. You know, we're answerable to shareholders, to stakeholders, to our leaders that are running our networks for us. And the fear that we're not delivering the right ratios year on year may get in the way of us doing the right thing by the business, and that may be something a little bit braver than what's gone before. So trying to reach that courage and connect with that courage and being allowed to lead in the way that you want to as a transformational leader is also part of what we need to create the right environment for these people. At the Lighthouse, our understanding of what it really takes to transform these businesses probably comes in 3 or 4 different spaces of what we most need people to do. To understand that operational change management is not pivotal reinvention. They are 2 very, very different things. So being able to in some ways run a parallel path. Are you able to run your current existing business at the most profitable way that you can, in the most creative way that you can, but also then look at reinvention of your business at the same time and growing new revenues, new ways of working at the same time. And any leader that can do both of those things has a better chance of transforming their businesses. 2 additional pieces to that is how do you bring your teams with you at the same time? How do you allow people to believe that they are able to reinvent themselves during that journey? Because lots of the skill sets that they may have grown up with, let's say it was if you're a big investment director, for example, or a singular copywriter, how is it that you can reinvent yourself for the modern world through programmatic, through different ways of working? How can we help individuals reinvent on that journey at the same time? The final piece of that also is to understand the sense of urgency. We used to talk about 3-year plans. Most businesses don't have an ability to have a 3-year plan. You kind of have 1 year and out. So how fast and how agile can you be in that transformation without throwing the baby out with the bathwater? At the Lighthouse, I believe the best way to stay relevant, whether you're a copywriter, whether you're an investment director, whether you're running an agency or you're even a client, is thinking about and understanding that agility is everything, and trying to understand, seeking to understand is going to be the best way of staying relevant. So whether that's reading a lot, being curious, etc., all of those things constantly need to be in play. We no longer can be in a position where we know everything about a business because our knowledge is out of date the very next morning. So being comfortable with ambiguity, being comfortable with not knowing everything in the room is really critical to people feeling that they can continue to be fresh and inventing within themselves. Something else we notice is what we call the insider-outsider mentality within many businesses, inside and outside of our sector. If you look at Jeff Bezos at Amazon or indeed Reed Hastings at Netflix, they didn't come from those industries. They came from outside of the industry with a very fresh perspective. And sometimes that can really help us to have what we call intelligent naivety. You can come into a business and really see something in a very fresh way. So sometimes not knowing everything about a business can be an incredibly good thing and bring a very different viewpoint to the board of directors or for the shareholders of any company. And for those people concerned about being transformed out of a job, well, it really is up to you, because whether you're the leader of a company and it's up to your vision and tenacity to get this business transformed, that's one part of the jigsaw. But actually every single person in a company has their part to play in transforming that business. So if you're willing to be part of the team and part of the era that did move that business on, no matter what part you're playing in that organisation, you can still become and be just as relevant as the leader. So it really is up to you in your human sense of being as to whether or not you want to be part of the future or you want to stay safe in the old world. And at that point, you may get left behind.